Honestly, you people are like animals marking your territory everywhere. Is this how you all act in the jungle you came from? Yeah, that's how my Saturday started. Let me set the scene for you because you're not going to believe this. It was one of those perfect mornings, crisp fall air, sky so blue it looked like it had been scrubbed clean overnight and not a sound, but the soft coo of doves and the gentle creak of the fence when the wind moved just right. I had the day off, a real honest to God day off. My plan was simple sleep and have a cup of real coffee for once and spend a few hours washing my pride and joy. And by pride and joy, I mean my Ferrari 488 GTB. Bright, ridiculous red, obnoxious to some therapy to me. I worked for every nut and bolt on that car. No handouts, no shortcuts, just years of overtime and dogged determination. It wasn't just a car, it was my trophy, my escape, my look ma. I made it all rolled into one. So there I was, driveway radio humming out, Al Green bucket of soapy water in one hand, sun lighting up the polished fender, and I was in my zone. My street is the kind of place where lawns are edged like a military parade and folks talk about property values like they're defending national security. You know, the type suburban perfection with an HOA that sends emails about the color of your mailbox. I'd been here a couple of years. Nice house, nicer neighbors mostly, except for one. You could spot her half a block away, always in pink face, scrunched up like she's chewing on a lemon hair so lacquered it could survive a hurricane. The queen of the neighborhood. Never a hello, just that slow, hard stare. The kind that strips you down, lets you know exactly what she thinks about a guy like me and a car like mine. I was elbow deep in suds when I saw her coming. Pink tracksuit coffee mug the size of a fire hydrant stomping down the sidewalk like she owned every inch. She stopped, stared at my car with this look like it was a cockroach on her salad. And then she hit me with that line. Loud, sharp, ugly. It just hung there, burning holes in my Saturday. I just stood there for a second, music still playing, sun still shining, but suddenly it all felt wrong. Part of me wanted to de-escalate, stay calm, let it roll off. Years as a cop had drilled that into me. But the other part, the part that had to work twice as hard to get half as far, felt like a furnace door had blown open in my chest. I took a breath, mitt still dripping suds, and said, "Excuse me?" Cool, steady, but my voice was tight. She looked me up and down, sneakers, t-shirt, shorts, dismissal in every line of her face. In her world, guys like me, washed cars didn't own them. She gave me this little smirk, then suddenly theatrically tripped. You ever see someone fake a trip? Whole body, lurch, coffee cup arcing out, lid popping off at the perfect time, and a wave of hot coffee sailed through the air and splattered straight across my passenger door. My heart just about stopped. I stared at the brown streak running down that immaculate paint, heard her fake oops, and saw her watching me, eyes sparkling. She'd done it on purpose, no doubt. I managed, "You did that on purpose." Flat ice cold. She gasped, hand to chest. "I most certainly did not. You saw me trip. There's no need to be so aggressive." There it was. That word. I hadn't moved, hadn't raised my voice, but the script was in play. Aggressive, threatening the labels came faster than the coffee dripped down my car. I tried reason, explained the paint, the damage, but she just shrieked, blamed my noise as if Al Green was to blame for her temper tantrum. I could see this wasn't going anywhere. "Ma'am," I said, full cop voice, "now you intentionally damaged my property. We can handle this as adults, or I can call the police and file a report." Should have known better. The moment I said police, her eyes lit up, not with fear, but opportunity. "You're threatening me." She pulled out her phone, dialed 911, voice trembling. "There's an aggressive, threatening man in my neighborhood. I'm in fear for my life." My blood ran cold. She was flipping the script, weaponizing the 911 call against me. I was the victim here, but the narrative was already leaving me behind. I pulled my own phone, called my sergeant's personal line. "Sarge, it's me. I need a supervisor here now. She just vandalized my car and is calling 911, painting me as a threat." Officers are going to come in expecting the worst. He got it immediately. Don't engage. Stand by your car. I'm on my way. I stood there leaning against the fender, breathing, doing everything not to lose my cool while this woman performed for dispatch like she was up for an Oscar. Sirens in the distance. She heard them, smiled. Just before the patrol cars arrived, she let out a blood-curdling scream and folded herself neatly onto my lawn, clutching her knee. He kicked me. I hadn't moved an inch. Officers jumped out, hands on guns. "Show me your hands." I complied. Hands up, humiliation burning as I knelt on my own driveway. Then her husband arrived in a frenzy, shouting, pointing, calling me an animal. He swung at me, missed, tumbled onto the grass. Then their son screeched up in a souped-up truck, twice as big, twice as angry, and charged like a linebacker. I rolled, dodged, but it looked bad. Chaos. Yelling accusations, the woman shrieking, "Shoot him! Why don't you shoot him?" I was still on my knees, hands in the air, face to the asphalt, waiting for the world to end. Then my sergeant arrived, big guy, stone-cold calm. "Everybody freeze." The chaos stopped on a dime. He saw the rookie on my back, the husband and son wrestling with the other officer, and the puppet master, herself, sitting on my lawn. He sized it up fast. "Rookie, what do you think you're doing to my detective?" That word detective landed like a bomb. The rookie scrambled off me. The husband sputtered, "He's the gardener." My sergeant just stared him down. "He's Detective Harris, and you both just assaulted an officer." He got the husband and son cuffed. The woman tried to protest, but my sergeant just pointed up at my porch. "See that black dome? That's a 4K security camera. Recorded every word, every move." Her face just crumpled. The air went out of her performance, the reality of her lies settling in. The family went silent, her power drained away by a single little lens. As they were loaded into the cars, I finally caught my breath. My sergeant clapped me on the shoulder. "3 people about to pay for your detailing bill at least." The sense of justice felt strange. Relief mixed with something hollow. What if I hadn't been a cop? What if I didn't have that camera? The thought stuck with me colder than the autumn air. After the scene, I found a new wound, my picket fence splintered in tire tracks across my lawn. She'd plowed through it in her final tantrum, one last "screw you" before the cuffs. I called my sergeant again, documented everything. Another charge, more paperwork. Insurance called, incredulous. "So your neighbor threw coffee, called the cops, and then drove through your fence. You couldn't make it up." By afternoon, I got a call from their lawyer, oily voice. Lots of talk about emotional distress. I just laughed. "Video can be misleading," he said. "Sure, buddy. Save it for the judge." They filed an internal affairs complaint, tried to flip the narrative again, tried to turn the system against me. I spent hours in a windowless room answering every question, every move scrutinized. Why did I confront her? Why did I say police, all while being the actual victim? But justice, as slow and ugly as it is, did come. The assistant DA, tough as nails, called. "They're going to plead felony vandalism, assault, false report, full restitution, restraining order, take it or leave it." Their lawyer buckled as soon as he saw the first 30 seconds of that video. Watching them stand in court, faces gray, all bravado gone, I felt a quiet sense of closure. The judge didn't hold back, called their actions an assault on truth. Checks arrived for repairs, car fence, even a new mug from the guys at work with my Ferrari on it. Life slowly returned to normal. But I was changed, more wary, more aware of how easily stories get twisted. A month later, a for sale sign went up on their lawn. They moved. The legend of Coffee Karen spread through the neighborhood. Mrs. Gable, who'd seen it all, came over one morning. "We're glad you're here," she said. "For every one person filled with hate, there's a dozen more who are decent." Even the rookie officer learned, haunted by how close he came to making a life-ruining mistake. "You learned," I told him. "That's what matters. Now you know to look past the easy story. Maybe some good came out of it, even if it wasn't fair." Months later at a car show, I saw the son. He looked small, tired, not a monster, just a man who'd made a terrible choice. Seeing him, I let go of the last bit of anger. A kid came up eyes wide at the Ferrari. "Is that your car?" "It is," I said. "Want a picture in it?" And just like that, life kept moving, messy, unfair, but still beautiful. And hey, if you take one thing from all this, don't let anyone take your peace of mind, and always, always keep your security cameras running. What would you have done in my shoes? Do you think justice was truly served, or does privilege always find a way to bend the rules? Let me know below, and if you've ever tangled with a neighbor like that, you know you're not alone.